Hello, friends. How are you? How's things? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments or wherever. You know, read a book. I read it. Look at this. You know, this is a physical. This is an actual book with like a dust jacket and everything. I read this. If you don't know, I read 80-something books last year, and I think of those 80-something, I maybe read 3 physical books. The rest were on my Kindle. And that's because I got stuck on like a Kindle reading streak, and I thought, well, I'll just let it go for 365 days. So I did. I got a perfect year reading streak on my Kindle. And so I've had books piling up that I've been meaning to read that I haven't read. And so now I get a chance to read some physical books. And this book, which you saw from the title of this video, is Harlan Coben's The Woods. This is my first experience reading Harlan Coben, and I will tell you that I'm read this, and then I followed this up with another Harlan Coben book. So maybe that tells you a little something about how I feel about him as an author. I've heard this name for a long time. He's kind of in that popular thriller mystery writer, like popular writers where you go to the discount shelf and it's always got their books because they overprint them like crazy. You know, they're printing tens of thousands of copies because they sell that many, but you know, it's hard to guess when you're printing numbers that large, and so they always end up in the $5 bin at the bookstore or whatever. And I've seen a lot of his books there. And for me, that's generally a sign that it's probably a pretty good author, because it's, you know, the type of pleasure reading that I like to do. Those books tend to be that kind of just cheesy, kind of let's go have a good time reading book. The Woods was that. I enjoyed this book a lot. I enjoyed this book for a lot of different reasons. It's a mystery book at its core that has a little bit of a thriller vibe to it. And it's got like 4 interweaving narratives. And I think this is the first time I've ever read a book where where there's multiple POVs. So you have main character POV, and then you have a bunch of side character POVs. And the main character's POV is first person, and the rest are third person. That's fascinating to me. I've never read that before. Or at least, it's never hit me like this, if I have. And I'm reading his... This book was published in 2006 or 7 or something like that. This says 2007. The current book I'm reading, I think, was published in 2023. So... lots of time between those two titles, and that still holds true. He seems to write POV characters first person, everybody else third person. That's fascinating. I like it. It's very, very intimate in a very interesting way. You always know who the main character is. Now, in this book, great. The main character is trying to figure out an event from his past. It obviously happened in the woods. It's kind of the point of the book. It ends up in the woods, but the vast majority of this book does not take place in the woods. This isn't like a go into the woods and get scared kind of book. This is a trying to figure out what happened in the woods long ago, but we only visit the woods for one brief half chapter. And the rest of the time, we don't go there. Right? We talk about it, but we don't ever go there. So you're not in the woods in this book pretty much at all. There's very little description of the woods. There's no cozy, woodsy feeling. The woods just are a set piece, essentially. The reason that I gave this, I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think that the writing style is fantastic. I really enjoy his writing style. He's got some good dialogue style. His characters are witty. In his current book, there's a couple of characters, or not current, but the book that I'm currently reading, there's a couple of characters that are almost too witty. They're almost like cartoonish. But it's kind of fun in a weird way. This book didn't have that, but the characters are a little bit overpronounced. Stage directed, if you want to say that. The reason I didn't really give it 5 stars is some of the character motivations, you know, as you're trying to tie this old mystery from 20 years ago into the present time and make sense of it, some of the characters act in ways that are just kind of like, eh. And, you know, kind of Harlan's fix for that was to make those characters intentionally unstable so that you could just kind of be like, well, they weren't right in the head, and you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. It doesn't. It still doesn't make sense. They do things that are just like, really? Come on. It's not that big of a deal at this point in time. This could have been wrapped up very differently, but it did have a very spicy, exciting, interesting ending. Unfortunately, these types of books, I enjoy them. I enjoy just this kind of let's go through it. But the ending of this book, like so many of these books, you have this build. Like the third act is like 5 pages. You have this build. Bam, mystery hits. Bam, mystery's resolved. Now we have like a 5-page summary. 3 months later, oh, let's talk about what happened 3 months ago. And it's just kind of like, it feels, I don't know. I mean, as a reader, there's obviously nothing left to read. You don't read these books because you care deeply about their characters and their lives. These are one-off throwaway books. So just having that climax and then just be like, here's a brief summary, what happens next, is probably the best way to do it. But as a reader, I like to kind of dig in a little bit more and see these characters have a life after. And you don't get that here. So for those reasons, I did not give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. Just not that top level, like I got pulled into the character as well as the weird mystery happening. And, characters are doing things slightly unbelievable that makes it a little bit goofy. But it's still an enjoyable read. It's just fun. I'm going to continue reading Harlan. Probably the current book I'm reading is not sitting well with me. It's more of a thriller. Actually, it is a thriller. It's an absolute thriller. And it's one of those fast-paced thrillers that I like to have a little bit more breathing room in my books, and this one doesn't have that. It's just like go, 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 and I feel, I don't know, there's some empathetic part of me that doesn't take to that. But I'm going to keep reading because I like his writing style. Really fascinated by that first-person, third-person thing. And I think this was a good introduction. So if you haven't read Harlan Coben, I can absolutely recommend this book as an introduction to his writing. It was a fantastic mystery, cool characters, witty dialogue. It's just a fun book. It's a fun little thing. And from what I understand, he's had like 12 or 13 books turned into television shows, and there is a television show for The Woods. Although, I think this one was done in Poland or something like that? Somebody let me know if I'm wrong about that in the comments. While you're down there, ask questions. Got anything you want to talk about? Topics you want to discuss? Put those down there. Call me, text me, email me. Let me know what's up in your world. Yeah, I need all of that. Thank you for being here. Please like. Please comment. Please subscribe. Keep me relevant. See you again tomorrow. Have I ever been relevant? Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 10 actions that always bring happiness. On number 10, this is it. The final action that will bring us the most happiness is accept what is and live for the possibilities that lie ahead. Never waste your time wondering about what might have been. Get busy thinking about what still might be and working to make it happen. Oh my gosh. That's a life lesson that, man, it's taken me so long to get to really embrace the idea that what's happened has already happened and I can't control that. All I can really do is worry about what's going on right now and not worry about what might be. Just worry about what's going on right now. And is what's going on right now helping me achieve the goals that I hope might be, but that I haven't really planned for? It's a much better way to live. Figure it out.